It's week 10 of summer anime. I'll keep this video kind of short since a lot of these episodes have been like, I wouldn't say uneventful, but they feel like setups for future episodes, so it feels like kind of like a transition week. Although we had like a good finale for To Your Eternity, so it ended at 20 episodes. So yeah, that anime was like very good. And yeah, let's get into the week. Starting off with Miss Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid S, episode 9. So it's very Alma focused this episode. We kind of got like 3 different stories of her. So yeah, that was pretty nice. I wouldn't say Elma's my favorite character, but she's kind of up there. Anyway, first she's kind of tired of like being overworked all the time. So she tries to like organize a labor union with the Kobayashi's team. And the thing is, it's kind of like ingrained in your culture, this working environment. She kind of writes up a whole like set of demands, like stuff that like maybe they can compromise to have like, lenient working conditions. So yeah, Kobayashi kind of reviews it a few times. There's obvious stuff that like, companies won't do, like, oh, just hire more people so you can like even out the shifts. But yeah, there's a lot of red tape to go through. Even after they get everything approved, they go to like the head of the company. He's actually Shota's dad, so he knows like that they're actually dragons, and then he's like pretty tough and scary. So he's like, oh no, I can't just like let you have all these demands because it's like it's not fair to the other team. And then it's like hard to find the money for all of these. So he has like a whole bunch of excuses. So I really like this scene because it's kind of like, a real type of situation where, the boss is kind of lenient, but if you ask him for demands, it's really hard to negotiate with him unless you have like actual like leverage. So yeah, they try to start a labor union. Toru also joins in because she wants Kobayashi to come home earlier. But in the end, they couldn't really get their demands through. So yeah, Alma couldn't do it. And we find out the reason that she wanted to like have lenient working hours because there's like some like limited time suites. So she has to like kind of leave early or else they'll get sold out and wait in line. So yeah, that's the whole reason she's doing this, and she kind of gives up when her plan fails, but she gets the suites anyway, which was nice. Also after that, Kana, Shota, and Saikawa, they kind of want to go camping. The thing is they need a chaperone, and Toru and Kobayashi are busy. So they go to Alma, and she's their chaperone. So she wants to do a good job because Toru trusted her with this. So it's like if she fails, then Toru will make fun of her. So yeah, she's kind of escorting them. They're in the wild, like fishing, cooking. And then the thing is, Alma, she kind of like gets distracted for a second. And then all the kids are gone. They went exploring on their own. Like they're tough dragons and magicians, so it's fine. They won't be in trouble. But Alma's like really scared, so she tries to look for them. She kind of gets lost, so she can't find them. And they're just like doing their own thing, just exploring, and then they just go back into the campsite and everything's good. And then Alma just turns into a dragon because she can't find them anymore. She actually punches a bear and stuff too. So yeah, that was pretty funny. But then they all reunite in the end and everything's fine. So then after that, we get another Alma story where she wants to fight Toru. So she and Toru are fighting at some random field. Fafnir is there along with Kobayashi. And this fight was like it was randomly amazing. Like I can't believe how much slice of life mixed with like just like high budget fights we're getting here. But yeah, Toru and Alma are fighting. We don't really know the whole reason, but it's like Fafnir's like, oh, they gotta settle their differences. The thing is, Kobayashi sees like the reason they're fighting. The reason is it's kind of personal. Like they were friends back in the other world. They were like, exploring together, like traveling the world. Even though they kind of like disagreed with each other, they were still friends. And then the fact that like Toru kind of like left them, abandoned them, and then is like hanging out with humans now. Alma kind of like feels jealous, like what happened to us? The food used to taste so good because you were there, and now you're not here anymore. So yeah, Toru and Alma fight, just like punching each other, driving into the core of the earth, like so much action. And then they make up in the end and become friends. So that was cool. Like at the end of the fight, they just like become friends. And it was a stalemate, so I guess like no, there's no winner. But overall, I thought it was pretty funny. I don't think this is like kind of a major story shift, them becoming friends. Like they'll probably still pick on each other, tease each other, fight each other. But overall, yeah, like a cool random action scene and cool episode showing some Elma story. Okay, so for Remake Our Life episode 9, we kind of explore the new world that Kyoya created. It's him just like married to Shino Aki, and they have a daughter. Her name is Maki, and she's pretty cute. The thing is, Kyoya has no idea what to do. He's like, yo, I woke up 10 years in the future. I'm married. I don't know how to like handle kids. What do I do? He's all confused, and it's like, yeah, if he's in the future, he doesn't know like how to interact with people either. He doesn't know like the right things to say or what happened. So yeah, overall, like he's kind of like confused, but he's trying to like deal with it. Shinoaki kind of supports him, so yeah, she's a cool wife. But yeah, overall, this episode was kind of sad because we see Kyoya just like exploring like this world he created. So all the main characters of the Platinum generation, they kind of like, yeah, they don't really exist anymore. So he realizes that Shinoaki, she kind of gave up her art career, and he's really upset about that. He's like, oh shit, I did that. And he's working in a development company with this girl Aiko. She's the red-haired girl. The thing is, she has kind of like a lower position on the ladder than like last timeline. So he's like, oh, I kind of ruined her life too. She's like not a manager anymore. She's like a few levels below where she should be. Also, like Nanako, she kind of gave up on her singing career too. I guess she was live streaming, but she wasn't making enough money to support herself, so she kind of quit on that. Also, Surayaki, he also gave up. There was like he didn't write any books. There was no mention of him at all. So like, he did not succeed at all. So Kyoyo realizes, bruh, like I'm holding all these people down. It was like I was selfish. I wanted the fame. I wanted everything. So yeah, that's why it's called Remake Our Life. Just because he gets the good timeline doesn't mean he should mess with the other people as well. So he's like sucking the life out of their passion, and that's the reason like us everything is like this. So yeah, I feel like we're gonna kind of redo this redo. We're gonna remake Our Life Part 2, The Electric Boogaloo, and then hopefully things come up in the future. So yeah, that's just another consequence of like the kind of power fantasy main character guy. The whole story revolves around him, so none of the characters have their own agency. Also, another thing that I still have a problem with, this dude, he went 10 years in the future. He did not invest in anything. Like, come on, man. Why are you still working? Why aren't you investing in cryptos, ETFs, the VTube market? Where are your priorities at? But yeah, besides that, I'm excited to see him kind of like redo the timeline again. I wonder if he'll just wake up and magically go back in time. Or maybe the pink haired girl will have something to do with it. We will see. Okay, so for Peach Boy Riverside episode 10, we kind of continue on with the fight we had 2 episodes ago in episode 8. Where, like, everyone in the party is fighting their own person. We see Hawthorne, he's fighting this like lightning demon named Todoroki. We see Frau fighting this big bird Oni. And we see Sally. She's actually talking to Sumeragi, who punches her. So yeah, the fact that he can damage her, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, we'll get to that later. So yeah, we start off with this big titty blue haired mage GF. Her character design is really nice, cool fantasy mage character. I think we saw her earlier in the anime, but she never had her full kind of introduction. But anyway, I guess she knows Hawthorne. She like kind of rescues him from the electricity attack and gives him a new sword. It's called Air, and it belongs to Frau. And it's basically a sword that can cut through anything. So I wonder why Frau has all these like connections to like angels and magical powers. So she seems like very important. So new waifu Winnie comes in, and then the fight with Todoroki continues. He has this kind of cool lightning attack called Raijin Thunder Ogre, where he summons like this huge like ogre of lightning. And the music's also pretty amazing. We see Frau can like still unleash that hidden power, but it still takes a lot out of her. And then this episode kind of had a lot of sad moments. Shinki, Meki, Todoroki, and the bird dude. They're all like Onis, part of the same party, and they're all friends. They thought Meki was dead. She's actually alive, so someone kind of manipulated them to fight each other. Also on the other side, we see Sally. She's talking to Sumeragi. I think 2 episodes ago he actually punched her, so he's supposed to be an Oni, but he could damage her, so maybe he's like a Kishin. But yeah, he's pretty creepy dude. Sally kind of rejects her offer, and she kind of like stereotypical main character motivation. She's like, I'm not gonna go with you. I'm gonna protect my friends. And then Sumeragi's like, yo, I was just testing you, and that's the correct answer. Sally actually kind of like invites him. She's like, oh, when I'm done with my mission, I'll like kind of guide you, like you can be my friend too. He's actually kind of like feeling emotion from Sally, but he's evil. And then we continue on with the fight between Hawthorne and Todoroki. So Todoroki, he actually like, he really likes Meki. He was kind of isolated when he was like a demon, since he had like kind of electricity coming from his horn, so no one could go near him, so they all called him a freak. But then Meki gave him some insulation, like an insulated blanket to wrap around his horn. So it's like, yeah, like him and Meki, they have a thing together. He thought she was dead, but she's not, so he was being manipulated. He unleashes his Raijin Thunder Ogre, but Hawthorne has air, and he slashes that, and he wins the fight. But Todoroki doesn't die, so he's like wakes up in the inn later. Him and Meki, they kind of like, become friends again. And then they go on their separate ways. They kind of invite him to be part of their party, but he's like all tsundere, and he's like, oh no, I'll do my own thing. So yeah, it's all good. We had like some cool escalating fights, some emotional scenes, but everything's fine. Like, maybe some people died, but Todoroki's alive in the end, and he's going his separate ways. Psych, he sees Sumeragi, and Sumeragi just like straight up punches him through the heart, just pierces him. Like, this was so obvious that this would happen, but I was kind of like caught off guard at how obvious it was because Todoroki had so much time to stop this. But no, he turns his back on Sumeragi, and then all the attackers die basically, which was pretty sad since they were kind of like, good Onis. So this might be kind of like the ending episode because it feels like the end to like one of the bigger arcs. So I think the last few episodes we have of this anime will just be like kind of like stray character stories that we didn't really get. So that blue-haired mage girl Winnie, maybe it's her, and we'll see because this anime's pretty nice. Okay, so for the case study of Vanitas, episode 10, this was a pretty cool episode, pretty funny. So we see Dr. Morao. He's like the vampire researcher, and he's like this evil mad scientist. He's really creepy, and he actually wants to become a vampire. So that's why he's researching vampires so much. He wants to actually become one. But then it's like he's pretty funny, but he's actually like super evil since he's dissecting vampires, taking their eyeballs. So yeah, they all like try to fight it. Noe kind of like suplexes him onto the table, but then this dude Spider comes in. So he's like the dude with the mask, and then he makes a rare appearance. So everything's kind of connected together, and then they escape. So then in the lab, Noe, Roland, and Vanitas, they have to all fight like this shadow. It's called I guess it's called the Shadow, and it's basically like this big shadow monster that just eats everything. And you can't really cut it up too much because it's like a shadow; it'll come back. But yeah, they kind of all team up together. Vanitas uses his book to kind of like subdue it, so they all beat it. Music was cool. We see Vanitas, like he was number 69. Nice. And then he has like kind of a big brother, I guess number 71, that kind of torments him in his mind. So yeah, we got some Vanitas backstory. So yeah, they defeat the shadow, they rescue some people, and they get away. See why everything is connected and make some more friends along the way. Alright, and now for the trash report of the week. Girlfriend, episode 10. So what happens here? I mean, we were promised an onsen episode, some hot springs. We didn't really get too much of that. We actually got them shopping for hot spring stuff because Milka kissed Naoya last episode, so everyone's like kind of like, oh shit, we gotta make our move or else we'll fall behind. And yeah, they finally go on the trip. The thing is, Naoya, he kind of like feels both of them, their pain, so he wants to connect with them together. So he holds both of their hands in public. And then yeah, they're taking the train, they're walking like through the town, just holding hands together. So it's like this dude in his harem just chilling. Big Chad energy by him. We also see Saki's friend Shino. She's the girl with the purple ribbon. She like suspects that like Saki's being two-timed, so she's like doing some investigative research. So she comes like makes an appearance on the trip. She sees all of them together: Saki, Nagisa, Rika, and now Naoya. They're all just together. So then they kind of like awkwardly try to explain it, and then Nagisa and Rika they kind of like go off together to like, oh, we're vacationing together. So Saki and Naoya together. So yeah, she's interesting because like she's the fourth girl, and I wonder like what part she'll play in this anime. But yeah, besides that, Milka tries to get closer, Nagisa tries to get closer, we get some like kind of nude scenes. So, a lot of spicy situations coming through. We don't really get too much this episode, but it seems like they're setting up more for their vacation next episode, where I guess all four girls will probably do something. We will see in the future. And that's it for the trash report of the week. Okay, so for To Your Eternity, episode 20, this is the finale. And what a great season, what a great ending to the season. Pretty long season, we had a few chunky arcs. A lot of like sadness, a lot of emotional moments, but overall, yeah, cool epilogue. Here, kind of Fushi, I guess like he sees Puron, so he's like really connected to her. She like lived for a long time, and I guess he's attached to her since like she taught him a lot of things. So yeah, he keeps seeing her. She's like pretty good by herself, just like living, surviving. She's kind of poor, but she's like getting a lot of food and shelter. The issue is though, Fushi, he feels so attached to her that he can't leave her. So he keeps like coming back and forth, trying to like desert her and come back. They continue traveling on together. They miss each other, so yeah, it's all good. The issue is though, which I really love in this anime, as they travel, one day Puron, she just like gets dementia. So like yeah, they showed her like getting all angry, yelling. She's like a totally different person, and she's also suffering through like muscle pains and stuff. So I think it's like mix of dementia and Alzheimer's. So she's like totally different person, and then it's painful to kind of see her deteriorate like this. But yeah, Fushi, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how this is. But yeah, it's like a real thing that happens. So yeah, they keep traveling though, and then one day she like she's about to die, and then she actually sees the god that hangs around with Fushi, and then she kind of like asks a demand of him. She's like, "Can you turn me into something useful for Fushi when I die, so he doesn't turn into like an old woman?" And then he kind of like grants her wish, but then it's like there's a caveat. It's like if you do that, then your soul is gonna be changed, and you're not gonna go back to normal. So that's kind of vague, but I guess like what it means is that if she changes like who she is to Fushi, then she was like not gonna exist anymore technically. So I guess she won't go to heaven or whatever. She won't ascend. So I guess that's kind of sad. But yeah, overall, the ending of Puron's story. We end the episode. We end the season with one more sad moment. So yeah, props to the show. And it looks like there might be a season 2, so that's exciting. So a lot of like kind of like similar themes, just like sadness shown in different ways. I like the way they kind of explore the world, like there's like different historical things, some facts. Everything's all very interesting, very well written, and very beautifully portrayed in this anime. Okay, so for Sonny Boy episode 8, another weird episode, but I guess a cool story we had. So we get the backstory of the dog. So he was once a human, but they're asking, yo, why'd you turn into a dog? What happened? So he's like, all right, hold up, I'll tell you my whole story. So he's actually like from another world 5,000 years ago. So him and his class, they were like teleported 5,000 years and he's just stuck here. So apparently he was just like traveling through other worlds. So he's like a nomad. And then he was kind of sad. He never really had a concrete goal in mind. But then one day he like comes across this world where it's like everyone's listening to this woman. And then she's like kind of like the leader. She knows everything that's gonna happen. She knows how to guide people. The issue is though, as he meets like these new people, he sees that they're a bit fake, so he doesn't really like the environment. And then he also like, even though the girl's really nice to him, he wants to leave. But then she keeps like trying to rescue him, so he tries to sail away on a boat, and she just like chases after him. So yeah, he really likes her. But then one day just like everyone gets this weird crystal disease in their bodies where they just have crystals growing on their faces, and then he's immune to the disease, but like everyone else are just getting infected. They have like these just weird crystals just growing all over their bodies, and then like at the end they just transform into a giant crystal. So yeah, everyone's dying. They kind of blame the new guy who like came in. Oh, it's all your fault. And he doesn't know what to do. And then the girl doesn't know what to do either. So it's like this whole world is just crumbling down. And then we get some like insight on this other guy that comes in. He tells the leader, the girl, "Oh, congratulations on killing all these people." So we don't really know what he means by that, but then it's realized that like the boy, this like disease is apparently like he created it, like it's his world. And then I don't know why he's infecting these people, but if he left, then everyone else would be cured. But then he wanted to like simp for the girl still, so he turned into a dog because it's like, "Oh, I'll do anything for you." So it's like he's like a dog in his mind. So yeah, very Chainsaw Man esque, as we kind of like end the episode like with this whole backstory, which was like, I guess it was nice, but we didn't really get any story progression. So yeah, I guess we like realized that you can create other worlds, and these other worlds can be like diseases or other like abstract things. So there's more rules to these worlds that we don't know about, and it's like these people are existing for thousands of years, so that's like pretty suspicious as well. Like there's just so many people stranded here, like infinite possibilities. So yeah, my brain's just hurting to like understand where like the end game of this anime is gonna be. Okay, so for Jahy-sama episode 5, another funny episode. Jahy comes home from work, but then she actually gets stopped by the police for dressing so provocatively. And then Jahy, she doesn't want to get arrested because she's like, "Oh shit, my boss and my landlord have to bail me out," and then it's gonna be all embarrassing. So she tries to avoid it. She tries to run away from the police, but the police have bicycles, so you can't run away from them. And then yeah, poor Jahy, she's not arrested, but she just has to answer some questions, I guess. And then she comes across this magical girl in this park. She thinks that like that's her enemy, the magical girl that like broke the stone and sent them to the earth. But no, it's like this adult man cross-dresser dressing up as like this magic girl Purin. So pretty funny by him, but you can't really be doing that in a public park late at night. That's kind of creepy, bro. So yeah, I guess he gets arrested, and then Jahy, she gets bailed out by her landlord and tenant again, which was the one thing she was trying to avoid. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Also, after that, we get like a scene where Jahy's in her apartment, and then her landlord and everyone else, they're kind of getting sick, and then Jahy's like laughing at them. "Yo, you pitiful humans getting sick. Yo, that can't be me, because I have all this magic power." The thing is, since her magical power is weak, I guess she gets infected and also gets sick. Yeah, she goes to sleep crying, and then her boss, she actually comes in and cooks her rice porridge. So pretty nice of her. Jahy's just like really cute, just like being taken care of. The thing is, at the end of the episode, a magical girl comes in and tries to take Jahy's magic stone. And Jahy doesn't want him to take it because it's like, if you take my magic stone, I'll have nothing. Jahy worked hard to get that stone, so she has to protect it. But the magical girl is like super strong. But she's not accustomed to the earth rules, so you can't just barge into someone's house and like rob them. So the landlady comes in and defends Jahy. and then calls the police on her. She gets arrested, so I guess we'll see more of her later, because she doesn't realize this little lolly Jahy is actually the real demon Jahy, so I wonder what she'll do in this anime in the future. Okay, so for the Aquatope on White Sand episode 9, this is a pretty interesting episode, I guess. We get a new character, Chiyu. She's from a rival aquarium that's opening up soon, so she's going to this aquarium for training. And then her and Kukuru, they kind of like don't like each other because it's like, oh, she's gonna steal our secrets. So Kukuru's grandfather, apparently he's famous, but he's like kind of old and washed up now, I guess. So yeah, Chiyu's just like criticizing the aquarium. It's like, oh, this failing aquarium, I'm not gonna learn anything here. And then Kukuru's all mad. The thing is, the grandfather, he's like, you gotta make friends with the competition. We're all like, as long as people are enjoying fish, we can all learn from each other and like get stronger and make people happier. They don't really make up at the end of this episode either, so I guess she'll like be a recurring character and maybe she'll like kind of learn her lesson or something. Maybe they'll both apologize in the future. Also, at the end of this episode, Fuka gets a phone call, I think from one of the idols that like took her position as the lead. So yeah, that's interesting as well. I wonder what she's gonna say. Okay, so for Higurashi, When They Cry Sotsu, episode 11. So it's just a continuation on stuff we already know, how like the Watanagashi festival shit's just like about to pop off. So yeah, we see Keiichi escorted into Satoko's house. And then I thought it was interesting because it shows like what actually happened. So we thought that like the uncle beat up Keiichi with the baseball bat and Keiichi fought back. The thing is, the uncle's already dead. Satoko shot him. So Satoko actually beat Keiichi with the baseball bat. And I guess he got like brain damage, so I guess he got confused who actually hit him. The detective Oishi, he's like trying to like uncover the mystery of the like who's doing all these murders and shit. So Satoko convinces him that it's Rika. So he just goes into the festival and tries to like shoot people and choke out Rika. We see Mion and Shion try to protect her, but they both get shot, which was pretty brutal. So yeah, Oishi's just popping off, and then he beats up Rika with the baseball bat. The thing is, Satoko comes through. Oh yeah, Rena's there too, but she's just hiding in a corner, just like all confused. Yo, why is this happening? Why are people dying? So it was so sad to see Rena just breaking down. But anyway, Satoko comes in, and she kind of baits Oishi. She's like, "Oh, I was the one doing it. It was me. It's Satoko all along." And then yeah, she shoots Oishi in the head, and then she double taps Rika to make sure Rika's dead, and then she kills herself in the end. While Reddit's just watching all this happen. So I thought that was like hilarious. But yeah, anyway, the episode ends. We didn't really learn anything new so far. So I wonder what's gonna happen since we wrapped up with the Higurashi Go season 1, like all the arcs that happened. So are we finally gonna go back to the other timeline where Rika and Satoko are confronting each other? Okay, so for Tokyo Revengers episode 22. Rest in peace, Baji again. This is the typical character dies, so we get their whole sad kind of like backstory this episode. So yeah, we see Baji and the whole gang while they were 12. They were all together hanging out. They were all like, on their motorcycles, and then they were like, oh yeah, let's form a gang. And then they bought like this good luck charm, and then they gave it to Baji. So yeah, he's kind of the leader of the gang, Baji. It's not Mikey, it's Baji. He like founded the gang. So I guess he's like their leader, but he died. So yeah, everyone regrets it. Kazutora, we see like he actually shows regret this episode, and he stays behind while the cops come, so he goes in jail. He gets arrested. I think he gets 10 years. Yeah, I mean, I guess he does deserve that. Maybe a longer sentence, because this is literally the second time he's murdered someone, but I guess he's a minor still, so that's fine, I guess. Also, we see that Mikey does forgive him, so yeah, I guess Kazutora is still part of the gang. I think this is important, because if we get a time skip again, like Takamichi goes back into the present, like he's gonna see Kazutora like probably being a good guy or something. So like that's probably a huge shift in the timeline. I wonder what like role like Kazutora will play in the future. Maybe he'll be jacked and get just like a muscular person body. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we see more of like Baji, how he met with the other dude, Chifuyu, his best friend. So yeah, apparently they're in the same like school together, and then he sees Baji like he dressed up as a nerd, wearing glasses and slick back hair, and he's like, "Yo, this dude got left back? What?" But then he actually becomes friends with him. Like he's like, "Oh, he's really bad at school, even though he dresses like a nerd." So he kind of like helps him become friends with him, like teaches him. And then Bachi actually protects him while he's like fighting another gang. Bachi, he takes off his nerd outfit, he takes off his glasses, and his like hair is all straight again. And then he fights with Chifuyu and like fights off a rival gang. So it's like pretty funny, cute moment. It's like Baji's like a really cool guy. He was strong, friendly, cool, and good, but he had to die for the story to progress. So that's pretty sad. I really liked him, and I wonder how like this anime will progress in the future, because you know, the story's pretty interesting. It's pretty good. I'm like, I really want to know like how the story's gonna progress, like how each arc is gonna be. And I know that the manga's like really hyped up. It's like selling record numbers, so you know, I guess I might check that out later as the anime's ending. And yeah, that's it for week 10 of summer. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see what happens in the future. This was kind of like a cool down setup week, so you know, we're gonna get some escalations as we approach the finales.